The search for a young Texas woman who mysteriously vanished on Christmas Eve. We have learned that Camila Mendoza Olmos grew up here in Southern California and still has close family ties. New at 11, Eyewitness News reporter Leanne Suter spoke with some of the teen's loved ones who are now praying for her safe return.
Christmas Eve is supposed to be quiet in a comforting way. The kind of quiet that feels safe. Streets empty. Lights still off. Families asleep, waiting for morning. But on this Christmas Eve, in northwest Bexar County, that quiet swallowed a 19-year-old girl whole. Just before 7 a.m., Camila Mendoza Olmos stepped outside her home. She didn't grab her phone. She didn't get into her car. She didn't tell anyone she was leaving. She held only her keys and started walking. Security cameras watched her hesitate, search her car, and then turn away from it. And that was it. No more sightings. No messages. No explanation. What was supposed to be a routine moment turned into days of searching, questions without answers, and a truth her family never imagined facing. This is not a story about a dramatic disappearance. It's a story about silence, timing, and how someone can vanish without ever going far at all. Welcome back to the channel. Here, we don't rush stories, and we don't smooth over uncomfortable details. Because some cases don't end with clarity. Some end with questions that refuse to go away. Tonight's story is one of those cases. It's about a young woman, a short walk, and a search that happened almost too late. It's about how quickly concern turns into fear, and how close the truth can be while still remaining unseen. Camila was 19 years old. Old enough to be considered an adult, young enough to still be figuring out who she was and where she was going. That in-between space where expectations start piling up, but certainty hasn't arrived yet. She lived with her family in northwest Bexar County, Texas. Her life, by all outward appearances, was routine. She wasn't known for disappearing. She wasn't known for risky behavior. She wasn't known for drama. People who knew Camila described her as quiet, reserved, private. Not withdrawn, but not loud either. She wasn't someone who demanded attention. She wasn't someone who broadcasted her emotions online. And that matters because when someone quiet goes silent, it often takes longer for people to realize something is wrong. There was no public record of Camila planning to leave. No posts hinting at goodbye. No messages foreshadowing what would happen next. Which is why what happened that morning caught everyone off guard. Early on December 24th, surveillance cameras outside her home captured her stepping out. The footage is clear enough to show details, but not enough to explain intent. She walks up to her car. She looks inside. She searches around. She pauses. Her body language doesn't show panic, but it doesn't show confidence either. There's hesitation. A moment of stillness. Like she's deciding something. Then she closes the car door. Camila does not get in. She does not drive away. She turns and walks instead. She leaves behind her phone. That alone raises questions. Phones are lifelines, especially for young adults, especially for short trips. She leaves her car too, which suggests she didn't intend to go far, or didn't plan on being gone long. She takes only her keys, possibly her ID. No bag. No supplies. No indication this was meant to be a journey. Just a walk. And after that moment, Camila disappears. The area she walked into doesn't look dangerous on a map, but walking it is different. There are patches of undeveloped land, tall grass, uneven ground, places where visibility drops fast. Places where someone can be just a few feet away and completely unseen. This wasn't a hiking trail. It wasn't a park. It wasn't somewhere people casually wander early in the morning. And yet, Camila walked in that direction. No one knows how far she intended to go. No one knows what she was thinking in those moments. But investigators would later focus on one detail that couldn't be ignored. She walked alone, without her phone, into an area where help would not easily reach her. At first, there was confusion. Adults are allowed to leave. Adults are allowed space. Families hesitate because no one wants to overreact. But Camila didn't come back. Her phone stayed silent. Her car stayed parked. Hours passed. Christmas Eve turned into Christmas Day. And that's when concern turned into fear. Because Camila wasn't the type to vanish without a word. And the longer the silence stretched, the heavier it became. Once authorities were notified, the tone changed quickly. This wasn't treated as a casual absence. This was treated as a potential emergency. Investigators reviewed the surveillance footage. They confirmed the timeline. They noted what she left behind and what she took with her. And soon, a decision was made that signaled just how serious this case had become. Texas issued a clear alert for Camila Mendoza Olmos. This isn't done lightly. Clear alerts are reserved for endangered missing adults, cases where authorities believe the person may be in danger. Her face spread across the state. Her name flooded social media. Strangers who had never met her started watching the news, hoping to recognize her somewhere. For Camila's family, this was hope and fear tangled together. Hope that someone might see her. Fear that she needed to be seen at all. Search efforts intensified. Multiple agencies joined in. Law enforcement, organized search teams, volunteers from the community. Helicopters scanned from above. Teams walked the ground. People searched areas that looked harmless but weren't. Tall grass can hide a person completely. Uneven terrain breaks lines of sight. Weather complicates tracking. And despite how close everything was, despite how many eyes were looking, Camila was not found. Day after day passed. The search widened. The questions grew louder. How could someone disappear this close to home? How could so many people be searching and still miss her? One of the most unsettling details of this case is distance, or more accurately, the lack of it. Camila didn't travel far. She didn't leave the area. She didn't cross counties. She was close. Very close. And yet, she remained unseen. Days after Camila vanished, the search came to an end. Not with relief. Not with answers. But with confirmation. Her body was found in tall grass near where she was last seen. A firearm was located nearby. The same terrain searchers had walked. The same area people believed had already been checked. She had been there the entire time. The Bexar County medical examiner later identified the remains as Camila Mendoza Olmos. Her death was ruled a suicide, caused by a gunshot wound. Authorities stated there was no evidence of foul play. And just like that, the case shifted from missing person to closed investigation. But for families, paperwork doesn't equal closure. Questions didn't disappear. Why leave without a phone? Why walk instead of drive? Why bring a firearm on a short walk? Why wasn't she found sooner? Why did the surveillance footage end where it did? These questions aren't accusations. They are reflections. Because understanding matters. Authorities referenced emotional distress, but emotional distress is broad. It explains everything and nothing at the same time. Camila didn't leave a public explanation. She didn't leave a visible goodbye. She didn't announce pain. And while silence doesn't mean she wasn't struggling, it also means the full picture will never be known. Camila's family asked for privacy. They grieved away from cameras and headlines. They were left to reconcile official conclusions with personal loss. Grief doesn't end when a case does. Questions don't disappear because a report says, no foul play. They echo. Not every case ends with a villain. Not every story ends with clarity. Some end quietly. And that quiet can be deeply unsettling. Camila Mendoza Olmos was not just a disappearance. She was not just a ruling. She was a young woman whose final moments are known only to her. And sometimes, the darkest part of a story isn't what happened. It's how little we can ever truly understand. If this story made you pause, reflect, or question how easily someone can disappear, even close to home, consider subscribing and sharing this video. These stories matter. These names matter. And silence, when left unexplored, can be the most haunting part of all.